The plane cruised at 30,000 feet, the cabin buzzing softly with engine hum and light chatter, until one sharp voice silenced it all. "Don't get smart with me," barked the flight attendant, looming over a quiet black teen girl in seat 14A. Passengers shifted uncomfortably, some whispering, others staring. The girl, no older than 16, clutched her phone, her face composed. She didn't argue. She didn't cry. Instead, she dialed one number with trembling fingers. What happened next grounded the plane, cost careers, and shook the entire airline industry, because sometimes the quietest voice speaks the loudest when backed by power. Amira Johnson wasn't used to flying first class, but her mother insisted. "You're a young black woman. You deserve space, dignity, and the best," she said, as she kissed goodbye. "Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this." Amira, a scholarship-winning math prodigy, was on her way to a youth summit in Washington, D.C. Nervous yet composed, she settled into her seat dressed in a hoodie, jeans, and a neatly braided bun. From the moment she boarded, something felt off. The flight attendant, Ms. Darlene, barely greeted her, but smiled warmly at other passengers. When Amira asked for a blanket, Ms. Darlene responded sharply, "Blankets are for first-class guests only." "But I'm in first class," Amira replied politely, showing her ticket. That's when Ms. Darlene's voice rose. "Don't get sassy with me, young lady. You're lucky to be up here." Gasps echoed. Phones came out, but Amira didn't yell. She reached for her phone and quietly made one call. Amira's call was short. "Hi, Mom. It's happening again." Her mother's voice stayed calm. "Stay seated. I've got it." Unbeknownst to anyone on that flight, Amira's mother, Dr. Nia Johnson, was the newly appointed chief legal counsel of the airline's parent company. She was also one of the country's most respected civil rights attorneys. Within 7 minutes, the airline's CEO received an emergency call. Another was made to the head of flight operations, and a third went directly to the FAA liaison. The command was simple: Ground Flight 329, immediately at the nearest major airport. Back on board, Ms. Darlene continued to serve others with a fake smile, unaware that her actions were about to cost her everything. Passengers murmured as the captain suddenly announced, "Due to an operational directive, we will be making an unscheduled landing in Atlanta." Confused glances shot across the cabin. Amira sat quietly, staring out the window as the plane descended. Security personnel were waiting at the gate as the plane stopped in Atlanta. 2 airline executives boarded and walked straight to first class. "Ms. Darlene, please come with us." "What's going on?" she stammered, her smile evaporating. "Is this a mistake?" "This isn't a discussion," one officer said sternly. The captain was also asked to step off for questioning. Passengers watched, stunned, as whispers turned to full-on commentary. Videos had already made it to TikTok and Twitter, some with captions like "Call for justice for Amira." Back in her seat, Amira looked down at her phone. Her mom had just texted, "They're handling it. You're safe. I'm proud of you." The power had shifted, and for once, accountability had landed. Hard. The airline's official statement dropped within 24 hours. A formal apology, a promise of internal review, and mandatory bias training for all. Crew members, Ms. Darlene and the captain, were both suspended pending investigation. Meanwhile, the CEO privately apologized to Amira and awarded her a scholarship for young women of color in STEM. But Amira wasn't seeking fame or pity. She just wanted respect. Her strength had spoken louder than any shouting could. The incident made national headlines and catalyzed change within the airline industry because Amira chose calm, and calm brought justice. This story resonated far beyond the skies. Parents talked to their children about standing up without violence. Schools used Amira's story to discuss race, dignity, and silent strength. And airlines everywhere reevaluated their training practices. What began as another quiet moment of discrimination became a bold example of what happens when power is used gracefully. Amira taught the world something. You don't need to shout to be heard. You need to be right and fearless. At that moment, Amira didn't just reclaim her dignity, she paved the runway for others. If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. Powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.